the 12 or 22 wins this race, off of what I've seen, that's the most deserving, right? I think that they, had the 24-1 because he got that lucky break and then just fending him off. I don't know. Maybe it leaves a little bit more bitter taste in my mouth. But I thought the best two cars battled it out there at the end.
The 2024 NASCAR Cup Series championship ended with a massive upset that left fans and critics questioning everything. Joey Logano and Team Penske pulled off the unthinkable, snatching the trophy in a finale that had jaws on the floor. But amidst the playoff format controversy, one driver refused to hold back. That's right, Denny Hamlin dove headfirst into the chaos on his podcast Actions Detrimental, and he didn't hold back. Logano, the guy who had a pretty underwhelming regular season, somehow ends up with the championship. Meanwhile, drivers who dominated all year long are left wondering what the heck just happened. Sounds fair to you? Well, Hamlin had some choice words about the whole situation. Hamlin said, "It seems as though this format is delegitimizing the regular season. You've got to give Joey Logano his due because he executed the best that day. But is that what we want? One race deciding it all after months of hard work?" And Hamlin's got a point, don't you think? NASCAR's been hinting at potential tweaks to the playoff system, but he's not convinced. He said, they left the window open to we could tweak. What does that mean? Because right now it's a format that's creating chaos.
It's interesting, though, that they left the window open to, but we could tweak.
Yeah.
And, what does that mean, right? Because, I don't know what's going on in their minds. Certainly, we said on this podcast, what do we say if Joey Logano won the championship?
There would be outrage.
Some people started whispering that Team Penske was sandbagging during the regular season, intentionally underperforming to save their best for the playoffs. But Hamlin wasn't having any of that nonsense. He shut those accusations down faster than a speeding ticket. Nobody would have speed and not show it throughout the season or playoffs. We've seen championships come down to a point here or there. NASCAR inspects the cars all year long. Unless they tell us otherwise, you've got to assume everything's legit. Hamlin gave props to Logano's clutch performance, but he also wasn't afraid to call out the glaring issues with the playoff format. By putting so much emphasis on a single race, NASCAR risks alienating fans who value consistency throughout the entire season. Hamlin said, "I would have been fine with either Logano or Blaney winning the championship that day, but we've got to ask if this is the best way to determine the champion of the sport." There remains a question as NASCAR gears up for 2025. They've got some serious soul-searching to do. Will they fine-tune the playoff format, or will they stubbornly stick to the current model? Hamlin also couldn't resist taking a little jab at NASCAR's alleged monopolistic practices. It all started with a photo of Logano holding Monopoly cards, which Hamlin called perfect in light of the recent lawsuit filed by his team, 2311 Racing and Front Row Motorsports. For those who are not familiar with the matter, these two teams are accusing NASCAR of holding an unfair monopoly over the coveted charters. Hamlin's sarcastic joke was a not-so-subtle reference to the ongoing legal battle. Speaking of the lawsuit, things are getting pretty intense. 2311 Racing and Front Row Motorsports are fighting tooth and nail to keep racing as charter teams in 2025. They even filed an appeal after their initial injunction was denied. Hamlin dropped a bombshell revealing that 2311's participation next season is still up in the air. I think it's all to be determined. There's certain things that we're going to have to navigate, so I hope so. Without signing the charter agreement, Hamlin's team is definitely in a precarious position, but he remains optimistic, expressing satisfaction with the initial ruling and eagerly awaiting further developments. Denny Hamlin told the media at Phoenix, the first part is, we're obviously pleased with the ruling that the judge sees merits in the case. He's going to move forward to expedite it and expedite the discovery side of it, which is a reverse from what he had before. Obviously judging on it without prejudice and obviously giving us an opportunity to refile once the situation changes because he knows that things will change over the next few months. Obviously he understands the complexity of it and obviously understands that this situation is fluid and we obviously could see some pretty bad harm coming up. Amidst all the chaos, a bittersweet moment emerged. Martin Truex Jr.'s retirement announcement. After toying with the idea for 2 years, the 2017 Cup Series champ finally made the call after the Gateway race in June. Truex said, "Something just felt different this year for me. I felt like it was time to slow down and do something else." Hamlin, ever the emotional one, couldn't hold back the waterworks.
Been that way.
Do you find yourself these past 2 years, you've seen Harvick and now Martin, do you catch yourself thinking about your retirement?
Only on Mondays when I feel like I have a bad race.
Following the Phoenix race last weekend, Martin Truex Jr. received a standing ovation from his competitors. Denny Hamlin confessed that although he was not at the center of it, the event had him fighting back tears.
Clapping with everybody, with his water bottle. And so, I don't know. That is Martin, right? And he's always been that way.
Do you find yourself these past 2 years, you've seen Harvick and now Martin, do you catch yourself thinking about?
Meanwhile, Truex was as chill as ever.
My body hurts, and it's like, oh, man. But every Sunday, I get in that car, and I'm like, I got a chance to win. And that's just something that's going to be hard for me to give up.
Hamlin's not letting his buddy ride off into the sunset just yet. He's got a standing offer for Truex to hop in a 2311 racing car whenever the mood strikes. Hamlin said, I told him that I will have his Daytona 500 car ready immediately. Tell me the word. 100%. I would 100% do that. Anytime that Martin gets bored and wants to run Cup, we would have a seat for him for sure. Other options for Truex to go Cup racing include his home track of Dover. It is arguably his best racetrack where he owns 4 victories. He has also led over 1,000 laps at the track and has an average finish of 11.2. Another option would be to tap into JGR's Xfinity cars along with his brother Ryan. In the midst of all this, Hamlin found himself in a bit of a spat with NASCAR analyst Larry McReynolds. It all started when McReynolds downplayed the fan backlash to Logano's championship win on his Sirius XM NASCAR radio show. McReynolds said,
Conclusion, Danielle, now that we're almost 2 full days removed from this championship being decided at Phoenix, based on people I've talked to, based on our callers for the last 2 days, if we are chasing a tweak for people that don't like it, we are chasing a small, itsy-bitsy percentage of our fans. That's my conclusion. But the warning shot I fire, and I would even fire this shot toward Elton Sawyer NASCAR. Tweak it if you want, tweak it if you may, but I'm telling you, the cream is still going to rise to the top. The good, solid teams that win races and wins championships, they're going to adjust to what you change.
Well, Hamlin wasn't about to let that slide. On Wednesday, Dirty Mo Media, home to Hamlin's podcast, shared a post on social media with his proposed playoff format changes. It read, double regular season points, 7 races to make the championship 4, and a 3-race final round. What are your thoughts on it, Denny Hamlin's playoff format? McReynolds fired back just over a half hour later, replying critically to Hamlin's idea. So just what we need again. Our champion could go through the entire 10-race playoff, not win a race, might not need to, and at the final race back, possibly to where for one driver headed into the race, a clinch scenario. Now this would be nail-biting and exciting. Unbelievable. Hamlin wasn't about to take that lying down. He clapped back more than an hour later, armed with facts. Hey Larry, I know facts are hard to comprehend, but we actually had a champion crowned in trucks by a driver who didn't win at all during the season under this format. Hamlin fired back, referencing Matt Crafton's winless 2019 title. Believe it? Sorry, so what were you saying about winning again? Hamlin took a step further, boldly requesting McReynolds to stop spreading disinformation to your listeners about our lawsuit. He ended his reply with a curt thanks. This is just the beginning of the offseason 2024 to 2025, so be ready because it's going to be a wild ride. Between the playoff format debates, legal battles, and emotional farewells to retiring drivers like Martin Truex and Kevin Harvick, there's no shortage of drama. Hamlin finds himself at the center of it all, juggling in his roles as driver and team owner. Love him or hate him, you can't deny the man knows how to stir the pot and keep things interesting. In an Actions Detrimental video, Hamlin tipped his hat to his outgoing teammate.
Back where I was starting there with Truex final race, just what can I say about Truex? Just a constant professional as a teammate. Certainly somebody that I admire off the racetrack as well. His how independent he is. He's independent off the racetrack. and just a great professional on the racetrack. And so
Next season, Denny Hamlin will be the last of the 2006 rookie class still competing full-time in the Cup Series. When Hamlin won Sunoco Rookie of the Year honors back in 2006, he bested a group that included Truex, Clint Bowyer, JJ Yaley, and David Strem. So the JGR driver is feeling that little tug of emotions. As the disagreements over the playoff system rage on with fans and industry figures alike taking passionate stances, one thing is crystal clear: the NASCAR world is in for a tumultuous and fascinating journey. Denny Hamlin has been outspoken in his criticism of the NASCAR Cup Series playoff system, even suggesting on his November 4 Actions Detrimental podcast before Sunday's Championship 4 race in Phoenix.
But if Joey Logano wins this title, there is going to be a wrath on social media about this format. It already is. I talked to Mike Ford a little bit last night, NASCAR Comms. I said, man, I mean, you got this format is getting hammered on the net. And he's like, it's bots. It's not real people. And so I says, okay, I mean, you can turn a blind eye if you want, and you can be in denial, but numbers don't lie. Numbers never lie. And the fact is that
as the 2024-25 NASCAR offseason kicks into high gear, the debates and controversies show no signs of slowing down. Denny Hamlin, with his involvement as both driver and team owner, finds himself at the center of it all. From his emotional farewell to retiring teammate Martin Truex Jr. to his fiery exchanges with Larry McReynolds over the playoff format and the 2311 racing lawsuit, Hamlin is at the center of tough conversations. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe to NASCAR Insider and share your insights in the comments below.